dumbass.
Oh.
Like, you can't be that damn stupid, man. Like, I don't feel sorry for him. You a dummy.
Oh.
You got a wife and you got kids, and you care about messing with somebody else over your family. How dumb can you be? And then you get caught, and you want people to show empathy towards what you got going on. Don't do what you did.
Oh.
Get her pregnant, have an abortion. I'm going to double her salary. Like, I don't have sympathy for dumb shit.
Oh.
Like, you're an adult, and this is what you chose to do. You're not sorry about what happened. You sorry you got caught. And then now you want to garner sympathy. Oh, I'm going to do this to you, and I'm going to do this to myself. No, you not.
So let me get this straight. Sherrone Moore cheated on his wife, got caught, and was fired from the University of Michigan as their head coach because he was sleeping with a staff member. Upon finding out he got fired with cause, which means they don't have to pay his buyout, he then proceeds to go break in to said staff member's house and threatens her. Boy, Sherrone Moore, this might be the crash out of the century. Boy, you lost the bet.
Could you imagine being young, making millions of dollars, and having one of the best jobs in your field in all of America, and then losing all of that because you decided to have an extramarital affair with a female staffer, which is against university policy? Well, that's what happened this afternoon when the University of Michigan fired head football coach Sherrone Moore with cause because of that affair. Now, with cause means he's owed $12.3 million, but they're not going to sit there and pay him a dime because he violated his contract and he knew better, and so Michigan feels like they don't have to pay him. They also reported that Michigan has credible evidence backing up this decision. So if and when he decides to go back to court to fight them for that remaining $12.3 million, they've got enough evidence that sits there and backs up their claim. Now, I want to know who dropped the dime, why did they drop the dime, what did Sherrone Moore do to them? Because somebody had to feel some kind of way about him in order to do this. Because we know things like this have happened before. I'm not sitting there saying it's the okay thing to do, but we can go right to Arkansas in 2011, 2012, when Bobby Petrino got in that motorcycle accident and the girl on the back of the bike was his female staffer. He was having an inappropriate relationship with her. He tried to hide it at first, but eventually it came out. So these things do happen. You know, Bobby Petrino, he was the reason why he got caught. Sherrone Moore's case, somebody told on him. Now, again, he's going to sit there and he's going to fight for that money. He released a statement stating they felt like he was a scapegoat and he got railroaded. But this wasn't a football decision. He violated the policy. Now, I don't know what the next steps are for the program. Bill Pogge's been plugged in as the interim head coach for the time being. He's going to coach them in a bowl game. But what happens with Bryce Underwood? He was the number one recruit in last year's class, the number one quarterback recruit in last year's class, I should say. He got a huge NIL deal for Michigan, turned his back on LSU to go to Michigan. Michigan's got a great class coming in. What happens with those recruits? The program's in a mess kind of right now, and all because he decided he wanted to get caught out there and get caught slipping. Now, look, I don't know what's going to happen for him as far as his future goes. He's probably going to be fighting Michigan the next couple of months to try to get some of that money. I'm sure he'll coach again. He won't be spinning the block at Michigan like Bobby Petrino did at Arkansas, but he'll still coach again somewhere. But I'm sure deep down inside, once this all settles down, he's going to sit there and scratch his head and say, yo, bro, I blew $12 million potentially because I couldn't control myself and handle business, do what I was supposed to do. Like, you don't realize these positions don't come around very often. Michigan is such a prestigious job, and he blew it because he couldn't control himself. But hopefully he learned his lesson, and hopefully, the next time he gets an opportunity, if he gets an opportunity, he controls himself and doesn't do anything stupid like this.
Michigan head coach Sherrone Moore just got fired, and girls, it is messy. It is so messy. Buckle in and let me catch you up to speed. Out of nowhere on Wednesday night, Michigan announced that head coach Sherrone Moore has been fired after they had an internal investigation. The school said he violated policy because of an inappropriate relationship with the staff. The fact that they said that is wild. Usually they just said, so-and-so has been fired. So-and-so is no longer with the program. They said inappropriate relationship. Now, we don't exactly know what that relationship is. They're not giving out those details. I think we can all use our imagination. Also, there are names and pictures floating around on the internet. I'm not going to put them up because I don't know if they're real or not, but if you want to do your own investigative journalism, go for it. And remember, he's married with 3 young kids, so this isn't just messy on a professional level, but also on his personal side. But here's the real kicker. They didn't just fire him. They fired him for cause. That part is very important. For cause. When someone's fired for cause, it means that their employer, in this case the school, feels like their misconduct was so serious, they don't have to pay him the rest of his contract. No buyout, no severance, no nothing. Just basically get your stuff and leave.
Sherrone Moore spent 15 years of his life moving up the coaching ranks. Tight ends coach, assistant coaches, offensive coordinator, offensive line coach. to finally being a head coach after 15 years working his way up, to then lose his job because the motherfucker's too damn horny. Lose your job, your first head coaching job. So you might not get another head coaching job because it's your first time and you wasn't doing a great job there either. A lot of Michigan fans want you out after the first couple of games, like, he's not it. And then your first opportunity to be a head coach, after doing everything right the first 15 years, 14 years, to get the opportunity, you sleep with a Michigan staffer. Because you're just too damn horny, right? And you got family and kids at home, bro? Come on, bro. This is a terrible way to get fired. At least lose your job the regular way. You're just not competent enough. Your team is just not good enough. You lost the locker room. You know, the old-fashioned way. But losing it like this, bro, come on, bro. It's more disappointing than anything. Like I said, a lot of Michigan fans didn't want him there anyway, so a lot of Michigan people are just happy as hell. But come on, bro. You gotta do better than that.
So let's talk about Sherrone Moore. Heard he was fired. I was all like, hey, maybe they ain't like the fact that they ain't beat Ohio State, and they didn't give Bryce enough weapons. I don't know, right? Maybe he was inadequate. I mean, I didn't know. I watched some Michigan football this year. I'm not really into college, I'm trying to get into college basketball. It's a lot of big names, but college sports just ain't what it used to be honest. But I watch if I can, right? Especially if they winning, I will admit that. But fucking with the hoes. Man, that's what it was, man. I couldn't believe it. I just thought, I'm like, damn, maybe they should have gotten that Lane Kiffin situation. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. Like, damn, why they wait so late? And then my boy Alex sent it to me. He was like, it's fucking with the hoes. I'm like, oh. Like, and the thing about it is one thing I'll give it to the women or guys that say this. A lot of these brothers, they cheat off. A lot of men cheat off proximity. Remember we had the Coldplay concert with the man and the wife. He had just hired her. And they got caught together. It's a proximity, man. The hardest thing about meeting women, regardless you dating app dudes or you in-person dudes or, you paying for it, man, wherever you getting it, right? It's the icebreaker. The hardest part about, dealing with women is the icebreaker. Once you break through the ice, you already, you broke to the ice, you already know you least satisfactory, attractive enough. A lot of times you already know you can smash. It's the icebreaker. And when you work with somebody, naturally you break that ice. See, I'm gonna break it down, right? Check out the College Sports Talk playlist, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. You break that ice naturally. And I think people don't look at it that way. All right? You get to know each other, talking about kids, wives, y'all work close to each other, and to a man, right? Discipline or undisciplined, something new is always something new. Nothing like new punani. I mean, a couple strokes and you there, right? But, if new punani become regular punani or old punani, it's like, now it's 97 strokes to get there. It's a little inside joke, right? So it's, it's sad. He went out like Mel Tucker. You had the example, but it's always people that think like it can't happen to them. You know what I'm saying? There's always these people that it can't happen to me. It can. I'm one of them people that say, why it can't happen to me? That's my mentality. When I look at it and I see stuff happening, I'm like, hey, why couldn't? I was always like that when I was younger. And my situation was different. A lot of people was doing a lot worse. A lot of shit I wouldn't dreamed about doing. Stealing the parents' cars and cousins and uncle cars. And I felt like they was getting leniency. I said, man, they'll drill me to the cross if I did some stuff like this. So I always got hard punishment growing up. I always was punished harder than everybody else. Everybody, regardless, always had a way out, man. Not me. Punished to the full maximum sentence. So, hey, I learned from it, right? It was beneficial. I'm still here. you know. But yeah, you know, as a, you know, I think both Mel Tucker and Sherrone was married, and you know, women say married men, you know, they be out in the dating pool more than single men. You know, married men be more aggressive, and we know women's reactions to married men. Remember that Adam Sandler movie? He put the red ring on, even with the ugly nose. He still, you know, was getting, you know, getting women. Yeah, it's unfortunate that, you know, some people, you know, value what they can't have. And it makes it more attractive, even if it's not attractive. But you got to have the discipline. You're a leader of young men. You don't want young men to walk into those footsteps, right? You don't want the young man walk into the footsteps and throw their career away for some Virginia. You know what I'm saying? You're a leader of young men and old men. You know, that's just what it is. You're a leader of the future of our nation, right? You're recruiting the young men. You got it. Like, think about it, bro. Think about it. They gave you the keys to the car when, you know, most people wouldn't have gave you the keys to the car. Wardell, what's his name? Wardell Manuel, whatever his name is, the AD. Hey, man, he gave Juwan Howard the opportunity when most wouldn't have gave him opportunity at Michigan. He gave Sherrone Moore an opportunity, so we can't say Brother Ward, whatever his name is, he ain't stay on code. I mean, he one of the most on code black people in college sports in the United States. Let me say that. You know, he gave his brothers licks. He put his brothers in opportunities, and Juwan didn't handle it well, right? And Sherrone Moore didn't handle it well after seeing the example set in East Lansing. He didn't handle it well. And you gotta be able to tame your sexual discipline. You have to become disciplined sexually. If you can become sexually disciplined, you can be disciplined financially. That's the key to all disciplines, is being able to control your loins. You know what I'm saying? Once you're able to control your sexual loins, you can do anything you want to do financially, travel, whatever you want to do. A lot of guys can't say no to a piece of Virginia. You know, you ain't a man until you turn it down. And you know, a lot of guys never learn this, and a lot of guys learn this by trial by fire. Bad baby mama, crazy chick experience, STI, STDs, all that stuff. And he should have known better. Out of all the women and I understand to be married, that's how you get these positions. These high positions, they usually don't go to bachelors. These are married men. When you in this corporate business, business of billions and probably damn near trillions of dollars, this type of business, it goes to married men. That's why Jeff Bezos got divorced, got married again. You know what I'm saying? It go to married men, bro. So when you take that choice up to be CEO, to be in the business world, you got to be married if you really want to go out there and, you know, get promoted and be in the position, because they need leverage over your head. Ain't nobody gonna speak to you like this, like I speak to you. Get my Patreon, that link somewhere in the link tree's description. Hit the link trees there, right? We talk good over there. They need something to hold over your head to control you. That's why they want politicians to be married and people in business. They don't per se care too much about doctors, police officers, unless you're trying to move up the ranks and those. You know, when you start talking about CEOs, businessmen, they rather you be married. You be, you know, because they want to be able to control you, you know, with your kids, with your family. They want a level of control. You know, LeBron being the face of the NBA, you know, you heard what Trey Burke said about that. There's sacrifices. Yes, Trey Burke from University of Michigan. There's sacrifices. Then you have to have blood sacrifices to be in that. So don't think a lot of these dudes getting married by, you know, why he's stupid if he got married. You get married because it's part of the program. It's a prerequisite to get in that position, right? But Sherrone, to be real with you, man, like, you got to be sexually disciplined, bro. I understand you got emotion, you the big man on campus. The woman is going to tell in the end. Women go off emotions and feel. Regardless of age, it's an emotional feel thing. And if, you know, you're pretty much extorted once you start doing stuff like this. you getting extorted. You at the mercy of the woman. Even with a side chick, you know, a lot of dudes, they cheat, and I don't advocate for cheating, right? Keeping it a being, keeping it trill, keeping it real. They advocate for a side chick. You can have an agreement. You can tell the side chick she's a side chick, but the minute she feel a certain type of way, the minute she watch a movie and it make it feel a certain type of way, she have a dream, or she see one of her homegirls get married, even if she only side chick material, and she knows that if she being honest with her, that's the best she gonna do, she still want to mess up what you got going on with your wife, and she want that spot regardless. And when you dealing with men that's played a side role, no real masculine man wants to be the main number one guy. So he ain't gonna out the wife. He don't really care. I had homeboys that was knocking people's wives down. I ain't proud about it. Seen them at the mall with their family and walked past them like he didn't even know them. What a woman would have did. She'd have made some type of gesture. But Sherrone Moore got to understand the game. He got to understand the game. Once you start messing with a chick that's in the University of Michigan, anywhere in that program, now she has power over you to extort you. She has the power. She has the power. So if she feel like you make her mad, you know what I'm saying? Now she can just go snitch on you. You can lose your job. She don't care if it take money out of her pocket. When women get mad at you, they want to destroy themselves as long as they destroy you. That's something that you got to understand. So when you go out here and you make these decisions, with the, to step out, step outside your marriage is shame, right? When you make decisions to step out with or deal with any woman that you work with or person that you work with, they control the narrative. Especially women, they can go to HR and say you did something and now you lost your job, and you did it, especially if you ain't got the money to defend yourself financially. They can say you did it. So shame on him to see what happened to Mel Tucker. He lost everything. It's already hard for brothers to get opportunities like this, and you make it harder for other brothers to get opportunities because of your negligence, because of your sexual loins. Control that, bro. If you want to go do your dirt, do it off campus. And I know you ain't got a lot of time off campus. Get an escort like a lot of the other married dudes do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just makes no sense. So the more we get, we'll see who they can get now to come to Big Ten country and compete. They got to go get a home run. Ward Manuel, I think his name, he got to hit a home run. That's what I will say. He got to, I hit it for, he got to hit a home run, a tremendous win. Tremendous, and Sherrone Moore, he bit the hand that fed him by doing this. Never gonna get an opportunity like this again, man. He's an idiot. But hey, man, hit the link in the description. Join hit the College Sports Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. You can find me everywhere. Join that Patreon. It's inside there somewhere. I appreciate y'all. Peace.
Oh my God, do I have a sports drama story for the hot girls tonight? When I say the Michigan head football coach was fired today for having an inappropriate relationship with a staff member, he was sleeping with his coworker. Men are so I guess there was a woman involved. Are we sure it was a woman? Not too much. Not that there'd be anything wrong with, we're gonna move on. Okay, here's my thing, y'all. Immediate reaction, is he married? Yep, he's married with 3 children. And I'm not gonna put his wife on blast because I read up on them a little bit and they maintain a very private life. But to cheat on your wife 3 weeks before Christmas, this publicly, and get fired from your job for cause, which means they don't have to pay him. So I know y'all probably heard some of the drama this year of coaches getting fired and then getting paid millions and millions of dollars not to work. Because his ass was sleeping with a staffer, they don't have to pay him. Now, I always remember Sherrone Moore for this moment when he first coached the Michigan team and he was in tears. And I was like, wow, to see a coach have heart for his team and for the game like that. All I'm gonna say is this: if it's one thing I know about football, from going to an SEC school and working in sports for the last 5 years, yeah, they would have covered this shit up if they really wanted him to coach the team. They would have covered this shit up if they really wanted him to be the coach. They wanted to fire him and they wanted to get out of paying him, and that's what they got because they couldn't keep it in his pants. I wish the best for his family because that breaks my heart for them. May the head coaching search begin because Michigan is a big job. People are going to want to coach there. What the hell is going on in Michigan? I mean, college football is full of terrible people, but they seem to just be getting caught all the time. Like, first they get caught sign stealing, which means stealing signals for plays from other teams, cheating in football. Then this guy gets caught cheating on his wife with a member of the staff. It's ghetto up there. Like, get it together, Michigan.